Hi, welcome back to Tom's Hit Parade. I've got a couple of album reviews for you today. Now, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you've noticed that up until now I've been doing 3 album reviews per channel, but my very recent collaboration with a fellow YouTuber, you can see the video in my on my channel, has bolstered my confidence into trying to work my way toward doing just devoting an entire video to just one album. So I'm trying to make an effort to talk more verbosely about each individual album. So for now I'll be doing 2 album reviews, hopefully, per video, and maybe eventually I'll work my way down to 1. Now the 2 albums I'll be talking about today, one of them has made the rounds on YouTube music channels. I've seen several reviews of it, as I'm sure you have. But the other one I haven't really seen any coverage on, so hopefully that one will be new to you and you might actually even enjoy it. So the first one I'll be talking about today is No, the 6th album by Jason Mraz. Now the thing that got me first into Jason Mraz is the same thing that I've always loved about the late comedian George Carlin, and it is his sense of wordplay, his sense of rhyme and meter, and how words, the rhythm of words, and choosing one word over another in particular sentences and meanings and that kind of thing. Jason Mraz is an expert at it. I mean, he can give a lot of rappers I've heard a run for their money. Now, he seems to have eased off of the clever wordplay in recent years, at least a little bit, not entirely. For instance, and this is one thing that I have not heard any other YouTubers, at least amongst the ones I've seen, have mentioned this in their reviews, so I don't know if they just missed it or if they forgot to mention it or what, but his last album was entitled Yes with an exclamation point. His new album is entitled No with a period. Yes, no. I'm kind of surprised nobody else has mentioned that. At least, as I said, at least amongst the reviews I've seen. But anyway, now despite the cleverness of Jason Mraz's lyrics, he never really delves deep into any philosophical or social or socio-political issues, and to be brutally honest, that's just fine with me. I mean, especially considering the condition that the world is in now, especially our country here. I turn to music as an escape more than anything else. So I like knowing that with certain artists, I don't have to have my brain turned on in a way, and I mean it as a total compliment to Jason Mraz's music. I mean, I will every once in a while listen to music that asks the big questions and whatnot. But as I said, more often than not, I like to have my brain turned off with music, and you can pretty much be guaranteed that with Jason Mraz. Now, I'll admit that I had started losing interest in Jason Mraz at about the time that his Love is a Four-Letter Word album came out. But when I saw the videos show up on YouTube for his latest release, particularly the song Unlonely, I liked it when I heard it. It had that cleverness in the lyrics, as I said. But the selling point for me was when I found out that Meghan Trainor was a guest vocalist on the song More Than Friends. I know that Meghan Trainor can be a polarizing artist. Some people seem to either love her or hate her, but I actually kind of like her, so that was a selling point for me, so I picked up the album. Now, that song More Than Friends, it's a cute song and with very good vocal harmonies. I enjoy it, and as I said, I like Meghan Trainor. And the 2 songs that are probably my favorites, Have It All and Unlonely, they are my favorites despite the inspiration meme sentiments that kind of clog the lyrics. Like, may the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. I mean, nice sentiments, but, a little bit treacly and trite, maybe. And also, a couple of those songs bear some of the most cringe-inducing lyrics on the entire album, which I will spare your ears and refrain from repeating right now in this video. There's the song Love Is Still the Answer, and it is one of the longer songs in his discography, and it's also the one that most closely approaches the socially conscious type of stuff, but it doesn't really dig too deep. And there's another song called Might As Well Dance, which is very bouncy and quite enjoyable for some reason. I mean, it's probably a throwaway song to a lot of people, but for some reason I just like it. Now, as I said, about half of the song is taken up by the breezy, innocuous songs about love and happiness. They're pleasant enough, but not really noteworthy. So there's not a whole lot to say about this album, although I guess I have gone on for about almost 5 minutes already. Now, I will admit that I do have mixed feelings about Jason Mraz. I love his wordplay, as I said, but sometimes he can just lay it on a little too thick, as there are a couple of examples on this album of that. But on the other hand, his lyrically simple songs feel sweet and more natural, but then they can be more forgettable. So hopefully with his next album he'll find some middle ground in between those. Like he did with his early releases. I mean, he seemed to have a really good balance on his early stuff. So yeah, as far as No by Jason Mraz is, I would score that, and again, I base my score on the percentage likelihood that it is that I will keep this album still in my collection 3 to 5 years from now. And I score Jason Mraz's No 65 to 70 in that respect. So a good album, not a fantastic album, but a good album. Now the other album I'll be talking about today is the 8th release by jazz artist Madeleine Peyroux, entitled Anthem. Now, don't let her French-sounding name or the album cover bearing the colors of France's flag fool you. She is actually American, raised in Georgia, in fact. Now, I first became aware of Madeleine Peyroux's music thanks to a profile of her back in 2014 on the CBS news magazine show Sunday Morning. But unbeknownst to myself, I had actually been aware of her music for years earlier, thanks to a movie called Free Enterprise, which is of all things a swinger-style comedy aimed at sci-fi geeks. Yeah, there's just a song that was in that movie just stood out for me. I just absolutely loved it. And I in fact thought it was an old 30s or 40s song by Billie Holiday. And it's no surprise there, because she actually bears a strong vocal resemblance to the legendary jazz singer Billie Holiday. And you know how much I like distinctive voices. She's got one of the most distinctive, honestly. It's that kind of a slightly smoky blues jazz voice. If you like Norah Jones or maybe Diana Krall, or as I said, Billie Holiday, or maybe Sarah Vaughan, you love the sound of her voice. Now the album borrows its title from one of 2 covers that appear on the album. The song Anthem is a Leonard Cohen song originally, and she does a fantastic version of that, by the way. And, well, the other song is not really a cover, strictly speaking. It's a French poem that she sets to music, it's very nice as well. And, I mean, you know me, I've got a soft spot for French songs. But all the other songs on the album are originals. There's a song called Down on Me, which is a great bluesy song that reminds me kind of Bonnie Raitt's bluesier moments, maybe. There's another song called On a Sunday Afternoon, which is a more lighthearted song. It's got a really lilting harmonica that kind of reminds me of Stevie Wonder's lighter 80s songs. And it's got fun lyrics, too. It makes references to Captain Crunch, Reefer, and old cartoons. But there are a few songs that where social commentary creeps in a little bit. She wrote this album, incidentally, as kind of a reaction to the 2016 presidential election. One of the songs, All My Heroes, has a little oblique sense of social commentary. It's not as pronounced as it is on the song Brand New Deal, which is a pretty sly jab at social inequality and amongst many other things. And there's a great song called Lullaby, which is, as its title implies, it's a lullaby. It's actually sung half in English and half in Spanish, and it's just got this languorous, wandering lushness it's just beautiful. It's got a great bass line on that song too. And there's a song on there called We Might As Well Dance, and that actually is one of the reasons why I paired these 2 albums together in this review, because as you might recall, on Jason Mraz's No album there's a song called Might As Well Dance. So but yeah, it kind of reminds me of the time back a couple of years ago when Nick Jonas's and Meghan Trainor's sophomore albums, which came out about a month apart, both had songs entitled Champagne Problems. So anyway, just a cute little coincidence there. But the song it's a different song, but it has kind of the same feel as Jason Mraz's song. Kind of lighthearted and, just the same message, we might as well dance. Yeah, the rest of the tracks are somewhat unremarkable, but there are not as many of those unremarkable songs as there are on Jason Mraz's album. But as I said, her amazing voice notwithstanding, I mean, you really have to hear it to appreciate it. It's got a little bit of a huskiness to it, a little, some people say, smokiness to it, but at the same time, she sometimes goes into this vibrato that's just very delicate and beautiful. So, but yeah, an excellent album. I'm really glad I picked it up, and I would score that a healthy 80 to 85. So, what did you think of these two albums, if you've heard either or both of them? Did you find them as fascinating as a slap bracelet? Let me know in the comments. And also, are there any other albums that, recent albums that you think I should be listening to and possibly reviewing on this channel? Or any that are similar to these albums that I may not know about? Let me know. Comment away. And please subscribe if you haven't yet. I would love to have more subscribers. That's it for today. Thank you very, very much for watching. And remember, life's too short to be a music snob.